Your deserve level determines how much you make and how much you retain. Is your deserve level impacting your ability to get to that level? Before you go to bed tonight, do this exercise. Do this for 2 months. So it costs you nothing. You make more money. Your deserve level is the key to your success, and it's going to stay the same until you change it. Your deserve level determines how much you make and how much you retain. So what is a deserve level? It's actually a subconscious set point that we have for relationships, success, health, and wealth. So each of us has a deserve level set point, and it's made up or it's created by a mix of things. So it could be what your parents said to you. It could be what your past experiences were, minor or major trauma. It could be even how much your parents made or what they said around the kitchen table about money. So let's talk about what your deserve level looks like with money. So your subconscious mind is going to prevent you from earning or retaining wealth beyond what you believe subconsciously you are worthy or deserving of. And it does this through self-sabotage. So what does this pattern look like with money? First of all, there's a difference between money and wealth. So money is something you earn, and you have to earn over and over again. Wealth grows on its own. It's money put to work. So you may be really, really good or comfortable with earning a lot of money, but not in having it or keeping it or accumulating it. So for instance, you might earn a lot of money and then spend it. Has anybody done that? Earn a lot of money and spend it, and then rinse and repeat. So you don't have very much at the end of that, versus earn your money, invest your money, and then create hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars that go to work for you 24/7 for the rest of your life, earning more dollars. And they don't call in sick. They don't roll their eyes when you ask them to do something. They just continually work for you. So we want to earn our money once. And if you get money or anything else that surpasses your personal deserve level in that area, you will get rid of it. So you can spend it. You can give it away, as we see with people who get large inheritances. Often I'll have clients who will come to me and they've already spent 75% of their inheritance, so it's down to the point where they're okay with it, and then they'll show up and say, okay, I'm okay with this. So you can gamble it away, you can drink it away, or you can drug it away. But anything beyond the point of where you feel comfortable, you're gonna push that away from you. So entrepreneurs tend to play this game. And I want you to raise your hand if you've ever thought this or said this: I can always earn more money. How many of you have thought that or said it out loud? And it may be true, but it keeps you stuck in a spin cycle. I have to earn more, and the answer to all my problems is to earn more money versus keeping that money and putting it to work for you. So there are people in this room right now who have made a lot of money and have very little to show for it. Could that be your deserve level? And we see this on all levels, people from impoverished all the way up to very wealthy. So too much above our deserve level, and our subconscious mind starts putting alarm bells off, and we have to get rid of that. It's very subtle. It could be that you could earn more money, but you're uncomfortable earning beyond a certain point. People have set points, like the income of their parents. If you multiply what your parents earned and then you put it in today's money, often people will be stuck around that. I can't earn more than my mom or my dad. So you might do things not to earn money. You don't make the call. You don't make the pitch. You don't send the email, because that would result in success. So our deserve level sets a ceiling for us that we continually bounce up against. And it's ourselves that are sabotaging that. So I know very, very wealthy people, and the very first thought that goes through their mind when they wake up every morning is, I'm unworthy. I'm unworthy of the wealth. I'm unworthy of prestige. I'm unworthy of having this. Now, in these circumstances, they come from impoverished situations where they feel guilty that they have and somebody else does not. I also have had clients, and this kind of drives me crazy. I have clients who are doing really, really well with their investment accounts. And once their accounts hit a certain level, they stop investing. And I have had discussions with clients, why this is doing really well, why did you stop investing? And it came down to, look, no one in my family has this much money. And if they knew I had this much money, I would lose their love or their acceptance. And they say, I don't want any more money. I don't want any more money. They think things like, who am I to be wealthy? Who am I to have this much money? And when there's a certain amount of zeros in people's investment accounts, and it's above their deserve level, they can't handle that. So we want to get to neutral with money. Money is it's just a form of exchange, but many people have a lot of emotions. It's an emotionally charged topic. So let's talk about, do you want to make more money or keep more of what you earn? I want to show you a little exercise. The good news is you can actually reset and raise your deserve level. So I want you to write down 4 things in your notebook. So first of all, you might be asking, Lisa, you just said this was subconscious. How am I supposed to know my own subconscious thoughts? Well, you might not know exactly what your subconscious beliefs are, but you know what you're getting right now. So whatever you're getting right now, those are your subconscious beliefs. All right. And it's also why certain things keep happening to you in your life. You wonder why does this pattern keep happening to me? Okay, number 1, we're not going to do this right now. I just want you to write down the steps. This is too important, but I want you to do this sometime before you go to bed tonight. Okay, will you write down number 1 thing? What are your earliest money memories? It's usually from your family of origin. What are your earliest money memories? Now, it could be good or it could be negative. Things that I hear are the stock market is like gambling. We'll never earn what we're worth, or we aren't college material. Like someone will just announce that at the table, or rich people are evil, or money is evil. So I want you to do this little activity. The first thing is just identify what are some of the phrases, what are your earliest money beliefs? The second thing is, who is the person that helped you form this belief? Could be your dad, could be your mom, could be Uncle Ned, could be grandpa. Number 3, I want you to have a conversation with this person. So number 3 is have a conversation, and there's a point of this conversation. Now, this could be in person, it could be in your head, or it could be like on a phone call. For instance, I had a conversation with my dad yesterday, and I said, Dad, are you okay with me earning $5 million a month that goes right into my bank account? Not like top line, but it goes right into my bank account. And he said, yes. I said, Dad, are you comfortable? Can I have permission to earn $12 million a month that goes into my bank account? And he goes, Lisa, I want you to earn as much money as you can. That's the point of this conversation. Now, if you're going back to the person who helped you develop these ideas and it's a negative, fire them. Not the relationship, just fire them from having control over your deserve level. And I want you to replace them with a trusted mentor or friend. And I want you to have the conversation with them and get to the point where you have permission and you say, Lisa, I don't need permission from anybody to make money. That's true on the conscious level, but the subconscious part of you needs permission to reach your next goal. So what is your next goal? And get that permission. The 4th thing, I want you to do this for 60 days, for 2 months. You don't have to ask them every time, but I want you to review your permission. What's my new permission level? So, for instance, I have clients who said, I don't know how to invest. They went from there to, If you would have told me I would have had this much money in my account when I started, I would not have believed you. I had a guy say to me, I have always worked on every family vacation. I spent the day with my family, and then I was up until 2 a.m. every day on my laptop doing payroll and running my business. This is the first time I've ever had a vacation where I didn't have to do that. He raised his deserve level. He became financially independent in a year and a half, and then he exited his business so he could pursue other goals. I've also had clients who were scared to invest. Then they started to invest, and they're at the point now where they're making more in their investment accounts than they are by working full time. So I want you to think about the setting on your deserve level. How could this be holding you back? And what is your financial goal for 2025? Is your deserve level impacting your ability to get to that level? So before you go to bed tonight, do this exercise. What's your earliest money memory? Who's the person that helped you form that? Have the conversation with them. And then I want you to do this for 2 months. So it costs you nothing. You make more money. You don't have to hire or fire anybody. And I want you to imagine 2 months from now, you're at the Genius March meeting. What could you have in terms of success, relationship, and wealth because you raised your deserve level? Your deserve level is the key to your success, and it's going to stay the same until you change it. Thank you.
Lisa, you did a great job. You're very, very poised, and actually quite powerful in front of the group. How do you get your clients to increase their deserve level when they don't, regarding money, when they don't feel that way personally about themselves?
That's a great question. So, because I see a lot of different levels of wealth, I have a mastermind, so people compare themselves with each other. So in this group, it's such a valuable place because you say, oh, so-and-so is earning this much. I can do that too. So that's one way, but we also have personal discussions about, a lot of this comes from childhood. And so we have a lot of discussions about what's the origin of your money story. And people pick up on that pretty quick because they see that they have resistance and it's frustrating. So they really do want to break through that. Although in some cases they stop investing. I've only had this a couple times, but they literally stop investing because they haven't worked through that trauma. And it's too much to have. It's usually 3 million, 15 million around that. People have these levels that it's just too many zeros for them. So they're still working through that in some cases.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of psychology in issues people have with money. If you've ever want to see something quite insightful, go to a Debtors Anonymous meeting or a Workaholics Anonymous meeting and hear how people talk about money. Like, I know the author of the book Money Drunk. Julia Cameron, they did the morning pages years ago, helped her a lot with that. And there's like a whole psychology of identity. Has anyone ever read the book? It's a good book, The Courage to be Disliked. Has anyone read that book? You know, where they talk about an inferiority complex and then a superiority complex. Like, I'm not good enough, or, I'm better than everyone and I have to one up everyone. And there you go. Yeah, the courage to be disliked. That's, and you talk about money and deserve. It's really quite fascinating. So this is based on Adler's work. It's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. So Rick?
Yes. My question is relatives. I have a brother and sister who are both on government programs, and I'm out making money. And they sometimes come to me with their hand out, and I've handed them tens of thousands of dollars at one time on several occasions. And there's no appreciation for that. They make me feel bad because I'm out earning money. It's a real impedance to me to have that kind of negative impact from my original family. My current family, the one I created, doesn't do that to me, but the one that I kind of left behind does. Any advice?
The rule with finances, we don't ruin two people's finances. So if there's one family in trouble, you don't ruin another family's finances to try to save that ship. So the advice that I give is don't give. I've had that happen in my own family where people have been given money, and it seems to perpetuate that. And so empowering them in any way, but I pretty much kind of have a hard line with that and say sorry, unless it's like some kind of emergency, but it's always an emergency, right? And so
Right.
that is not something I encourage, just because I've never seen it work out positively. As you said, there's the lack of appreciation. It doesn't change the relationship. You can't buy love, and you can't throw money at emotional problems. So you can never get enough of what you don't need. And if I need an emotional resolution, no matter how much money I throw at that, it will never solve the problem.
Give a mouse a cookie. There's a book. Give a mouse a cookie. It'll come back. And very good presentation. Thank you for that. Thank you for the advice.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think we've all, and you find out after several attempts that you've just created an entitlement attitude. And one of the hardest things for people as they become financially better off than the vast majority, because I mean, everyone in here from a wealth standpoint is in the 1%, right? In terms of what people make. So one of the hardest things I think to come to grips with is if you have financial success, you will have people simultaneously begging from you while also resenting you at the exact same time. And, you know, they want what you have. Where's Alex Mendoza at? I think he's out. Yeah, it's like jealousy is wanting what someone else has. Envy is wanting what someone else has and not wanting them to have it. And so, and it is always an emergency. And so I think you have offered wise counsel on that. And I've painfully, yeah. So, you know, unless
Absolutely what I'm going through. I get resented when I won't hand them the money, and I got a family to take care of. I guess I got to put them first.
Yeah, you know, Gary Halbert said this to me when I was going through one of the hardest times of my life. A different situation, but I think the line applies here. Is like some games in life, the only way you win is you don't play. And if you decide to play that game, you know, you're not going to win no matter what, except you'll be out of more money, and you'll also have oftentimes created a monster. I mean, if someone's on, like, it's a life or death situation, or if there's some really extraordinarily unique situation, and it's hard and painful to say no, and especially when someone is trying to guilt the shit out of you. And I've had that in my family, you know. But and these are the same individuals, though, when everything's going well, they're not showing up, they're not reading your books, they're not going to your events to learn about anything. They just want the money, like that, you know. So anything received free of charge is seldom valued. And you know, one of the hardest things to get and wrap your head around is life's greatest teacher, much of the time, is suffering. And, you know, I've always liked that line, don't handicap your kids by making their lives too easy. And if you just make someone's life a friend and a team member, an employee. I mean, I can't tell you, if I had $1 for every employee that had an emergency situation, and when I have, in the beginning of my career, you know, help them, never made it better. So it's like, don't ask me for money. You're just asking. It's gonna ruin the relationship, and it won't be me ruining it. It'll be this weirdness that comes out of it. Yeah.
Very common.
Yeah. We'll do one more over here, and then can we grab a mic or two? I guess we'll do two since I pointed it.
I'll jump in. Thanks, Lisa. That was great. By the way, I hired a coach to help me with my deserve level, not financial, but just success, and it was instrumental in getting me to where I am today. My question is, can you have an unlimited deserve level? Can you just kind of put it on autopilot that way? If it's real?
Are you saying unlimited?
Unlimited.
I think that there's incremental progress, and that's if you're working on it. I see people make very quick progress, and it's like something kind of clicks in their head. Often it happens when people are going to dinner together, and one person will say, I know I'm the highest earner in this group, and they'll go around and share their incomes, and they realize I am not making as much as these other people. That's an instant deserve level of I am just as smart and twice as cute. So they go get another job making, you know, they go from 100,000 to 300,000. So often when we see someone else empowered to do something, like if we are the best version of ourselves, it empowers other people to do that. So it's a constant incremental progress. But yeah, I don't think you have to stay stuck. And if you feel resistance, that's a sign that you need to work on it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Up, there we go. Okay. So I I told my kids that they could come and ask me for money anytime they wanted. If they did that, then I would want to have access to their budget and where they were spending money. And my example was, if you're spending $20 a month going out to the bar and having beer, that won't be on the budget anymore. So without saying no, right, what you're really trying to do is try to help that person by saying, you know, I'll help you with your finances, but if you're going to come for me for money, I'm going to be the judge and the jury on that. And that might help him in his situation.
I think that works with a parent-child relationship if the child is willing.
Yeah, and but you know, no matter what happens, if it ends up going bad, you're going to get blamed for it the moment you open that door, right? And then if something, you know, and there are worst case situations. Someone dies in an overdose, someone commits suicide, and then there's that family guilt that comes with it too. Human life is messy. It's complicated, and you try to make the best decisions you can. But I think almost everybody, the council that has been through that road, we can. How many of you have ever had a positive experience from loaning money to somebody in that sort of situation? Yeah, there's been a couple, but it's usually, but I'll tell you, it's like people that create value first. It's, to me, it's the what's in it for them sort of philosophy. I mean, people that are always, if someone comes on hard times, but there's someone that would be there for me, and you know the difference between someone that will have your back, and you'll help those people because you know they'll help yours. The worst is when people that, you know, the fair-weathered friends, the family member that only shows up in a desperate situation. And I think what Rick was saying, where there's this sort of zero appreciation. You know, I say all the time is make sure that your give is equal to or greater than your want. If you want something from somebody, show up with a give, or show up with a bunch of gives. And then if you ever want something, you've already demonstrated that you care about them. But people that just show up with a want and they've given no give, and even as they're asking for the want, there is zero awareness of anything about your own life and what it took for, because they think, oh, this is rich person with all this money. And it's a complicated situation. But I'll tell you, you know, if people think, where's Rakeem at? Rakeem is, okay, so we went to an improv class, and they gave a line at this improv class that the next time we came to improv, we would have to fill in the rest of the line. And the line was, money can't buy happiness. And I think it was Rakeem that came up with, yeah, but poverty can't buy shit. Okay. So anyway.
Yeah. Lisa, that was a great talk. I think you could do a 2-day workshop around people's relationships with money. And one of the things that you were talking about that jogged my memory was I had a partner once who we both had the same aspirations, the same money goals, the same everything. And things were great for the first couple of years. And then his wife basically emasculated him. And it's important because we're all entrepreneurs here, but if your significant other, whether it's your husband or wife or spouse or significant other, isn't on the same page with you about earning and wealth and everything else, it's going to be an uphill climb to that deserve level. So I just wanted to make that point.
Awesome. Well, you're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
And thank you for doing the first 10-minute talk of this year.